With the redesign of the 7th generation Golf, Volkswagen canceled the Jetta Sportwagen and introduced a Golf Sportwagen in its place. While the two cars may look sort of similar to the untrained eye, Volkswagen emphasizes that the Golf Sportwagen is an all-new car. What's so different about it? Let's find out. Now in the 7th generation, Volkswagen has brought out its MQB architecture, which is what distinguishes this vehicle from what came before. That also happens to be one of the major differences between the Jetta Sportwagen before this and this new Golf. And here we have the TDI turbo diesel. There's also a gas version. Volkswagen has kept the traditional station wagon alive while many people have gone toward SUVs and crossovers. The advantages of this vehicle are, first of all, it is a niche product for Volkswagen. So Volkswagen, there are a few other wagons out there, but they either cost more or they're positioned like an all-wheel drive kind of a off-roady kind of vehicle from Subaru. This being a front-wheel drive traditional family car, think of it like a Golf being stretched. Compared to the Jetta before it, it's about 1.1 inches longer, about 0.7 inches wider, and 1.1 inches shorter. So it's a little bit more aerodynamic, a little bit more sporty style. When this vehicle came out also, there was some complaints that they had shown in New York an all-wheel drive version of this vehicle and then said, oh, we're not bringing it. So due to popular demand, Volkswagen has said that they will bring an all-wheel drive version for 2016, but it won't look exactly like this. It'll be modeled on the all-track style. So for snowbelters, that would be a logical vehicle. Turbo diesels for Volkswagen and go back a long way. This is a 2-liter and it replaces the 2-liter that came before it. This is a direct injected turbo. It makes 10 more horsepower at 150 horsepower and 236 pounds-feet of torque. This vehicle has also now urea injection, also known as diesel exhaust fluid. Pricing for the vehicle starts at a couple thousand more than the gas. The gas starts with destination around 22,000, goes up. There's 3 trim levels for gas, 3 trim levels for diesel. There's the S, the SE, and the SEL. What you're looking at here is an SE, the middle level. Pricing for the diesels start at about $25,400 with destination, and they jump up a couple thousand to about 28 and change and into the lower 30s. Inside the Golf, Volkswagen's done a really nice job of bringing this vehicle up to spec. It's become more of a high-line vehicle within the model range of Volkswagen. Mostly higher, upper quality materials everywhere. Design, layout, love it. Just simple. White on black gauges and clean, crisp lines, good tactility to all the functions. It is not a Tesla Model S when you come to the LCD screen. It's a capacitive touch screen, but it's only 5.8 inches. It works though, and it does function. Nav is available. This vehicle has the DSG, dual clutch transmission, which is AKA an automatic, and it's an $1,100 option. 0 to 60 might be somewhere in the middle 8s. Not terribly fast, but it feels quicker with the torque than it really is, and it's usable. You know, you can get up and go. Personally, I like a manual transmission, and I would save the $1,100 to get the manual transmission. It does have paddle shifters though, and you can manually override it. You can put it in the sport mode. It makes more noise than power above 4,000. The emissions that the diesels have to pass are on the same exact EPA cycle and quantity as a gasoline equivalent. So they don't get a secondary standard. They must pass the same standards. And with all the after treatment that you now get with the diesel, between the catalytic converter, the diesel exhaust fluid, the AdBlue, whatever you want to call it, the urea injection, they clean up, scrub up the exhaust pretty well. It does not smell. How it feels, however, is completely, well, it is different. The torque hits you, so there's really no need to try to rev this thing out. The automatic will short shift the vehicle. Red line is only at 5,000 and peak horsepower is in the middle 3,000s. And so it runs out of steam if you try to run it to red line. We've been seeing above the EPA 35 for both transmissions, either 6-speed manual or 6-speed auto. Now, if you drive it hard, you'll get it down to the lower 30s, even in the high 20s if you drive it very aggressively. But if you just drive it at a normal pace, it's satisfying with the EPA, above the EPA. Highway for EPA is 42 and 43 for the manual, 42 for the auto, and city for either one is 31 miles per gallon. This vehicle only weighs about 100 and some odd pounds more than the Golf hatchback, depending on trim and equipment that you get. It's not a whole lot more. The drive experience feels like, therefore, a Golf. It has an independent front suspension, not an independent rear suspension, but it's controlled. One thing you're getting with this vehicle is a whole host of safety features and high technology. In addition to a nice Fender premium audio system with a subwoofer, 9 speakers, this vehicle has automatic post-collision braking and forward collision warning system. What that basically is it brakes the car, puts the brakes on if you have an accident to keep you from having a secondary accident. It also has adaptive cruise control that lets you set the gap between the vehicle in front of you. I could take a road trip in a car like this and I could do 1,000 miles a day in something like this. When Volkswagen updated the Golf into a wagon compared to the Jetta before it, they increased shoulder room, leg room by a little bit. It's still a compact class car, but it's pretty roomy. And with the seat put back to about a normal level, I have comfortable room back here to be going for a fairly long drive. One of the reasons why you get a extra long Golf is you've got all this extra space. For instance, here you've got a multi-position privacy shade to keep people from looking in. It's also, of course, removable. And you also have a plug here for 150 watt power of house current. This here will allow you to either fold up out of the way and you actually have some space down here. You got little cubbies on the side. Behind the seats, there's 30.4 cubic feet of volume. Now, if you go and remove the privacy shade and fold the seats down, they fold almost flat. You have 66.5 cubic feet. It's about as big as some smaller SUVs and crossovers, but you still have the drivability of a car. While SUVs and crossovers have taken over nearly in the minds of consumers looking for a larger car, Volkswagen has kept this traditional station wagon alive. This is a niche vehicle, and amongst competitors, it is a refreshing alternative.